coast to coast, it's your hosts, the Lombardi Leap and Mersey FB. This is Beyond the Frozen Tundra.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, the Lombardi Leap, here with Mercy FB. Let's talk Packers football. Specifically, I would say we had some frustrations on the frozen tundra on one side of the ball in particular. Again, pardon me if I'm a little heated.
I'm mad too. I was mad watching the game. I was heated watching the game. My blood pressure was through the roof.
10-7. That was the final score. 10-7. Packers dropped from the 2 or 3 seed all the way down to the 7th seed now, which is where we
Are they still the 7th seed?
Yeah, we are still a 7th seed. Mm-hmm.
That's lucky.
Yeah, we're the 7th seed, and we are now behind the Lions and Bears. That's fun.
How often do you say that? We're behind the Chicago Bears.
They're
playoff standings.
Speaking of the Chicago Bears, you know who they remind me of? The Minnesota Vikings last year when they won those one-score games.
Yeah.
And they won it on like stupid stuff too, like a quarterback goes down or something like that. That's the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about them. This game was so frustrating from start to finish. The first half, I mean, that was the first scoreless half since I think it was like 2009. I'm pretty sure.
For Monday Night Football?
Monday Night Football, yeah.
Okay. First scoreless half of an NFL game since 2023. I want to give props to the defense. They played well all game. And you could see the philosophy of, yeah, you're going to get the short game, but you're not going to be able to score enough to beat us. Unfortunately, our offense didn't show up, so that they did score enough, but they can't play much better against the Philadelphia Eagles.
No, I mean, they gave up a couple big plays, but that's kind of what happens when you're
3.
Yeah, when you get gassed a little bit there.
There were a couple PI calls too that I felt were like ticky-tacky.
Yeah. And we'll go over like the good, the bad, and the ugly, so to speak. Obviously, we'll have a lot of defensive players on that list there. The good, at least. A little bit later. Overall, Jeff Hafley is doing a great job with what he's gotten. I mean, holding Saquon to how many yards was it?
It was, in fact, 60 yards on 22 carries. That's like 3.1 yard a carry.
Yeah,
or something like that.
That's ridiculous. Like, I tip of the hat to the...
No, 2.7 yards per carry.
Yeah, definitely tip of the hat to the defensive line there. It is good having Devontae Wyatt back. I know the sacks weren't really there, but I kind of expect the sacks to not be there, just given that
Hurts is so hard to take down.
Yeah.
So
well, then the game plan is contain him. You know, they definitely made him throw a lot, and he did not look good. Like, I know they care about wins, which whatever team does. On the Eagles, I'm getting worried about the offense moving forward here. Like, something just isn't clicking, and I think teams are going to watch the Packers tape and be like, all right, we know how to beat them, and we're going to do that here moving forward.
Yeah. So if Jalen Hurts was an accurate quarterback, Carrington Valentine has 2 interceptions this game and a couple more pass breakups.
True. As well as Dallas Goedert has a lot more catches on Keyshawn Nixon, too.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street, unfortunately.
It is a two-way street. But I think a couple of the big plays, they did just get lucky, too. Like, that was a good catch by Devontae Smith.
On Evan Williams, yeah.
On Evan Williams for the touchdown. If that was X covering him, I think it's a better shot at it being an interception for us. Carrington Valentine trying to tackle Saquon Barkley in open space isn't going to go well. So
honestly, he can cover. So I'll take it.
He tries his best. Edgerrin Cooper, I thought, played really well. Quay played really well.
I mean, there wasn't really too many people I'm quite upset with on the defense. I mean, Nixon is who he is.
Didn't give up much,
but the reason is he didn't give up much was because, again, Jalen Hurts couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. And then I think they earned their flowers. I mean, anytime you hold a team to under 20 points, specifically the defending Super Bowl champions, I think that's an incredible win,
Mm-hmm.
especially for the defense. And that's good to see a bit of a bounce back for them, given what had happened versus like Arizona specifically. Like we've seen it trend better, and we've seen Halfley make the adjustments there, which is really, really good to see. Unlike a certain coach who isn't making adjustments, I think we can, now that we've given the flowers to the side of the ball that deserve the flowers, I do think we need to talk about the offense.
Before we do that, can we have a special teams conversation because it's shorter and slightly less annoying?
Oh yeah, I forgot about special teams. Why is McManus kicking?
He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be. I don't know why he was. I think it's because they pay him more and they need to justify paying him more. But you got to play the hot hand who is kicking well. And I guess maybe you could say, oh, well, he's never kicked like outside much because he's only really kicked in a dome. But
Which that was Arizona, right? Like
yeah. He got a 61 yarder. You were leaving points on the board that game when the drive would stall out and you'd end up in a punt, but it would have been like a 57 or a 59-yard field goal attempt. And you have the guy inactive sitting on the bench who just made the 61-yarder.
yeah, my whole thing with that is that they could have figured this out weeks ago if they just would have let McManus
Yes.
rest another week. And that's another boneheaded
Yeah.
coaching decision by Rich Bisaccia because Matt LaFleur said, and I quote, "I don't talk to kickers." Well, Matt, maybe you should start.
I think that also too, Rich Bisaccia is one of the coaches will do what is in the best interest of the team to win. It's their job. That's what they do.
Mhm.
However, I think Rich Bisaccia lets his pride get in the way, and he is more of the older school type of coach, and he's just not a fit for the team anymore. And he's been stealing money from us.
That's like on my list of reasons why I'm genuinely upset with how this team is coached right now. And the the personnel decision making process here, it baffles my mind. Like, you could have had this kicker situation literally figured out after the Arizona game.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily. Oh, okay. Well,
Mhm.
he had his good game. McManus got another week to rest, which would have been great for him to get healthier, and we wouldn't be having these issues more than likely. So, looking at the offense here, Jordan Love, 20 for 36, only threw the ball 5 times in the first half.
And that is coaching malpractice.
It is. It's disgustingly coaching malpractice. Josh Jacobs in the run game, I mean, it looked better at times, I would say.
It looked better in the second half after they had started throwing the ball and figured out that they can throw the ball.
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur tries to establish the run, and sometimes it just doesn't work. And he wants to establish the run to get the Eagles are playing a lot of too high. So it's hard to throw the ball against that. But you want to know how you stop too high if they're playing too high? Let's do some play action, intermediate. And they just refuse to do that. I don't know why. I think this is a different game too if Golden plays. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have as many of these issues if Golden plays. But Wicks was getting open. Watson was getting open. They didn't have Jordan really never had enough time to get it to Watson because the offensive line would self-implode. But this offense is fundamentally broken right now. And I think I know where the issue starts. But I also don't know where the issue stops.
I mean, where do you think the issue starts?
I think the issue is the offensive line. And ironic, as tough as it is to say this, because I love Elton as a Packer, I think losing him might actually end up being a blessing. So he had struggled at center, and it's not ludicrous to say that. Sean Ryan came in and played limited snaps against Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and didn't allow a pressure or only one pressure.
Yeah, 1 pressure in 30 snaps.
I think now moving forward, and this is a little radical, so feel free to critique me on this. the best 5 possible combination moving from left tackle to right tackle is at left tackle Jordan Morgan, left guard Rasheed Walker, center Sean Ryan, right guard Anthony Belton, and right tackle Zach Tom.
You said Rasheed Walker at left guard.
Yes,
That would be different. I don't think he's ever played there.
that is fine. What is happening to him is he is getting beat often on his first step. If you are playing left guard, it gives him more like freedom kind of and less stress to get beat right away. Because I feel like he plays himself out of position at left tackle because he's so afraid of getting beat by the first step.
And he does get beat a lot by the first step. That's the issue.
Yeah. Remember Jordan Run?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, Jordan Run. Oh no.
Yeah.
No, not that.
So
That is a summation of Rasheed Walker's career at left, or his year at left tackle so far. Yeah, Jordan Run.
and when Jordan Morgan was playing in the preseason at left tackle, he was excellent.
He was, and I know it's preseason, but like he was quicker. He was easily quicker
Yeah.
than Rasheed Walker. Like night and day difference. But for some odd reason, the Packers are just like, we just want to bank his left tackle snaps next year. Like, no, protect your quarterback, man. That's your job as a coach. Protect your quarterback.
And so that's why I think they're trying to run the ball more to get it to protect Jordan. But also that offensive line, they can't run as well. Zach Tom's also still clearly not 100%.
I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the offensive line things, but I don't think we're going to see much of a shift there as much as, like I said, I do think we should.
Not as a dramatic of a shift. You should see a shift because they didn't trade for anyone. They can't magically bring in a solution.
Mhm.
You're stuck with what you have. You got to figure out what to do with what you have.
And you have to coach. You have to coach with what you have, not with what you wish you had.
Mm-hmm.
Not with what you wish you had. And like this year, it does seem like Matt LaFleur has like the yips. Does that make sense?
I wouldn't. I don't think the issue solely falls upon him.
I agree with that.
Matt LaFleur, great coach, good play caller, or great play caller. I think the issue isn't so much on him as it is on his staff and situationally what the game plan is for like down and distance.
Well, who hired them?
This is yeah, that's true. This is a random question in which I actually don't think I ever knew the answer to. The play calling sheet that Matt has in his hand is different per week, right? Like it's per team.
Yeah, from my understanding, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. To my understanding too. So I would say the preparation of that is lacking.
Oh, absolutely.
You've seen these past couple of weeks, the offensive game plan coming in hasn't been fully developed.
I mean, they're averaging 6.2 points in the first half
Mm-hmm.
right now.
We're starting slow, for sure.
Egregiously slow. Not even like, here and there. It's been rough. It's like every team knows what we're doing all the time.
You can pick up what they're doing just from sitting on the couch. Like I was watching the game, and then on like first down, I was like, okay, they're gonna run it now. And it came to like 2nd and 8, and I was like, well, guess what? It's another run, and I was right.
Yeah,
A couple times Jordan would walk up to the line, yell can, and then run. Like, come on.
there was a play where Malik Heath came in, and I'm like, it's gonna be a run play. And I think Josh Jacobs got tackled in the backfield.
Yeah.
Like it's painfully obvious what they're doing. And it's not about, force feeding it to one wide receiver in particular, but you're basically scrubbing parts of the playbook when you don't have a certain player.
They're also, oh God, I get spreading the ball to not focusing on one player, but they aren't even spreading the ball.
No, it's going to Romeo Dobbs way more than it should.
Like, Jordan threw it 20 times, or like it was completed 20 times to 8 different receivers, but they're You take out the Savion Williams receptions because they were pop passes. That doesn't count. Emmanuel Wilson check down, which was briefly stopped or abruptly stopped. Romeo Dobbs had 1 catch for 5 yards. I know, like, you don't like him, but, like, come on. You got to target him more often.
I disagree. You don't. And here's why I say you don't. There were times where his first look is to Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, and that happens too late in the play, by the way, when, like, Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter are bearing down on him, or Jalen Carter's, like, jumping to block the pass.
No, it was right away. So no, it's right.
Oh,
He's
okay.
looking right away. Like there's I can't remember who posted it on X, but he's like Jordan Love played worse than I realized, and so I watched the clip, and the first five first 5 plays that he had, 3 of them Romeo Dobbs was his first look, and he either didn't get the ball off, or Romeo Dobbs dropped it. Was another one. So he had 4 targets, but and 1 reception for 5 yards, but he had way more looks. He had way more first reads. He's not open. He's
Mhm.
not open because he doesn't separate. Like, I'm not trying to hate on Romeo Dobbs here. Okay, I'm not. I like Romeo Dobbs as a player, but not the way they're making him to be as a player. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So I do think if his first look targets went to Christian Watson or Matthew Golden when healthy, the offense would be more productive.
100%.
And that's not just like, oh, Watson and Golden have the pre-draft pedigree and therefore they should be good players. No, but I genuinely think that they should be good players.
Yeah. And that's one of the ways that I honestly believe, like, you want to fix the offense, you need to give the ball to your elite players and not your average players. And that's what Romeo Dobbs is. He's average. I don't care if he's a safety blanket. Like, it's not you can't live your life with a safety blanket, especially in the NFL level. Like, it's not working. It hasn't worked. Teams have figured it out. They understand that Jordan Love's first read 90% of the time it feels like is Romeo Dobbs, so that's where they cover it. They know it's him because the offensive line can't block for that long. So by the time he gets to read 2 or 3, the pocket's collapsing and it's game over.
And Watson did have a mental mistake that cost them big in the start of the game.
He did, and he owned up to it too.
Yeah, he did. Both him and Quinion thought the same thing. Thought that ball was being overthrown. Hit Christian Watson in the head.
Yeah, he'd like to have that one back.
That's one you like to have back, but
Worse. It wasn't like the worst thing in the world there.
no. I think that before we get into like the penalties and the miscues and all that good jazz, I think that we need to talk about how they need to target the middle of the field more.
Yeah, well,
Especially
that's going to
with-
take a wide receiver who can separate.
Watson can.
Watson can, absolutely. And we talk about the middle of the field. You can get Watson involved on more than just deep shots.
Yes. He can be the number 1 guy because he's so quick. Just let him outrun
And
everyone.
he's huge. He's 6'4",
Yes.
225. That's a big
Let him
target.
outrun everyone and let him like make these possession catches.
Most of these corners are what? 6'1", 190?
Not even.
Not even? That's like a rare corner, I mean, most of them are around 5'10", 5'11", 185. Like, just get Christian Watson the ball. I don't care how you get it to him. Get it in the short passing game. Get it in the mid passing game. Get it in the long passing game. This isn't a hard concept. I don't care if you don't want to pigeonhole it to people. I'm not saying pigeonhole it to Christian Watson. Just give him more.
Mm-hmm.
Like Luke Musgrave, I'm sorry, is not the tight end for you. He's not going to replace Tucker Kraft. Stop trying to replace Tucker Kraft. And that's on Matt LaFleur. Like, it really is.
Matt LaFleur sticks to the game plan he thinks should be called instead of the game that is happening in front of him.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about this year, though, when I say that Matt LaFleur has, like, the yips. It seems like he's he wants to put a square peg through a round hole no matter what. And it doesn't change until it's too late. Like, the passing game got better when we started to do a little bit more from under center towards the end of the game.
Oh, 100%.
It's like, why does it take until there's 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter for you to start doing this? Like, it shouldn't. I understand you wanna establish the run game, but you haven't been able to establish the run game all year. You have to change. You have to throw out the playbook, man, if you got to. I don't give a rip at this point. You gotta change something. And I don't understand why this year he's become so inflexible when it seemed like last year they were very much willing to switch it up in a moment's notice. I don't understand what took place from this year to last year. The only thing I can think of
Last year
is
they were more explosive too.
yeah.
Like I don't get it.
I think it's the coaching. I think it's who he surrounds himself with.
Even in the God, well remember what the offense was like with Hackett as
Well, that was Aaron Rodgers
OC?
too.
That was Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. So like but you've got uh look at what was being called in the preseason too. The Stenovich game plan, which he was calling in the preseason, wasn't isn't much different from what's happening on the field now.
No, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That's actually a really good thing to point out. Is there really isn't much difference from Steno's play calling to Matt LaFleur's, which I mean that goes into game prep. Matt LaFleur's being the head coach, and you're relying on your coordinators to help you game prep, and it's who Stenovich is. I think it's compared. I think it's comparative to when Mike McCarthy rehired Joe Philbin as the offensive coordinator. That's that's the equivalent of Matt LaFleur keeping Adam Stenovich, and that costed Mike McCarthy his career, the rest of his career in Green Bay. That's why he got fired. That's because Joe Philbin just isn't a good offensive coordinator. Now,
Mhm.
I'm not saying that we should fire Matt LaFleur. Again, I'm not saying that.
No, I think we should keep him. I think we should fire Steno.
Absolutely, I think Steno needs to go. Butkus needs to go, and what's his name too? Rich Bisaccia. I think those three need to go because where are you seeing issues? Well, I'm seeing issues in the offensive line room with the false starts, the inability to develop, the poor continuity, the lack of adjustments on the offensive line and fixing stuff that should be fixed to prevent your quarterback from getting pressured. You're seeing issues in the kicking room. You're seeing issues in the punt return, the kick return coverage, and you're seeing penalties there. The only the only side of the ball that seems very well coached that really isn't giving up all that many penalties and is playing
Defense.
yeah, it's defense. Like they're very disciplined. The defense is clearly disciplined, I think.
Mhm.
And the offense and the special teams is just not outside of the punter. It's crazy to say. We went from hating on the defense for how many years to now a quote unquote offensive guru in Matt LaFleur, who was when he was hired, which is like what 5 6 years ago now, is stagnant and predictable
Mhm.
and inflexible, and that's just not good at all whatsoever for this offense moving
I now
forward.
see why the Raiders also didn't Rich Bisaccia was their interim head coach, and now I see why they didn't keep him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. And I hope we don't either. I think it's time. I think it's time to go, especially if you get bumped out first round of the playoffs again. I think that there's a lot of questions out there.
I do think most of the talk about firing Matt LaFleur is stupid.
I agree to a point, but I understand where people are coming from, and I wouldn't be shocked if it happened. And the reason is because Andy Reid went to a Super Bowl in '04, couldn't get over the hump, just couldn't do it. So the Eagles moved on, and then they went with then he went to Kansas City. He's a great coach, Hall of Fame coach. I love Andy Reid. He's a former Packers coach, but sometimes these things just happen for coaches. Eagles won 2 Super Bowls. Chiefs won like a billion. So I still think that worked out good for both teams. Obviously, better for Andy Reid. With Matt Lafleur, like I don't know who would replace him. That is something we can kind of speculate if it were to happen, like a complete hypothetical in some other episode. I'm not even gonna touch that right now. Anybody who says that hey Matt Lafleur should give up play calling, that's dumb. I'm not giving it to Stenovich, Butkus, or anybody on that team because they can't even game plan properly. So Matt LaFleur just literally needs to go on a darkness retreat
Can
this
Hafley
week.
call the offense?
Yeah, for real. For real. I think that
Can he call both sides simultaneously?
Hafley, get ready.
Would probably be the first play caller to do that in the modern era.
I think so. Yeah, that would be that's a crazy amount of work. Dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that transitions us to. I do want to talk about what I call the 4Gs, called the gold, the green, the grim, and the ghastly. Here.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, well, if you agree with these, let me know. Gold, I think this is top tier. Guys who showed up, showed out. Edrin Cooper,
Yes.
man, dude, he's so good at football. Like Edrin Cooper had the fumble, punched out that fumble on Jalen Hurts, shocked him. Like he was all over the field again, just absolutely making plays. So, man, and he has come so far from where he was in the beginning of the season too, because he started off a little rocky, and then popped off here. And then I would say Evan Williams too had another phenomenal game. Is just stacking success on success here moving forward. And overall, I think the defense gets a gold here. I think they did really well, and I think they deserve a lot of credit for what they did. So how's that for the gold?
I agree.
Now the green is like, okay, they played solid. It was good. Josh Jacobs. I think the run game moved, and he was breaking tackles a little bit better. He had the touchdown. I liked what he was doing in the pass defense or pass blocking as well. Like even as a running back, which he isn't really known for, is his pass blocking, and I think he did well there. So I definitely would like. I'm hoping we can get like a couple explosive runs here, from Josh Jacobs. But overall, I did like where it was trending in the run game. So the grim here, offensive stagnation, only 176 yards. We only had 83 yards in the first half. We were 0-5 for third down on third down in the first half, which is pretty grim. Like that, I don't like the way the offensive was. The penalties, it was just one thing after another there. And you think, oh, that sounds pretty bad. The ghastly can't be worse. Yeah, it's way worse. Matt LaFleur planning and play calling there, and his personnel packages. Like you said, what was that one play where Watson wasn't out there? No, Bo Melton's out there. Bo
Melton's out there instead of Watson on fourth down, and the ball goes to Melton, I think.
Yeah, it went to Bo Melton, and he dropped it. That's insane. That's absolutely insane to me to not have Christian Watson. I don't care if he's on a snap count. You're playing the Eagles. You can play one extra snap. He'll be fine. And then there are other plays too where it's like fourth down and it's Emmanuel Wilson, Bo Melton, Malik Heath. Like what are you doing? And then Romeo Doubs is out there. Oh, I wonder who they're going to try and get the ball to out of those four. Like realistically, come on, guys. Like what are we doing? And then the field goal attempts, man. Like what are we doing? Like I know we talked about this earlier in the episode, but the whole McManus and that whole thing, not to beat a dead horse, but you have to it's your job as a coach to manage personnel. And you're not managing personnel properly. Like it's just egregious what you're doing with the personnel here. And the thing is though, is like these are the people that Matt LaFleur picked. You know what I mean? Realistically.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that Brian Gutekunst has his roster, but like Matt LaFleur has some input there. He wants certain guys. He wants types of players. And Brian Gutekunst, these are the type of players he brought in. I don't know. Do you have anything you want to add to the grim and the ghastly here? Because there was a lot of it on the offensive side of the ball.
No, it's just like the situational play calling, the refusal to break certain tendencies, predictiveness, personnel issues. Like, yeah, they can't figure out the offensive line. Everything we've sort of talked about the offense so far. And we have to play the New York Giants next week, who have arguably the best defensive line in the NFL, and our offensive line isn't functional.
Well, I know we had a lot of depressing stuff to talk about today. At least we said some positives about the defense, and that looks like it's turning. Now, both things can kind of trend upwards here. We play the Giants on Sunday. Giants just fired their coach. We'll talk more about them on Friday.
Dart's got a concussion too.
Oh yeah, and Jackson Dart got a concussion. They're missing their running back. Like there's a lot going wrong for the Giants. They do have a good defense though, a good defensive line, some good pieces there. Talk about them on Friday, of course. If you haven't yet, make sure to follow us on X. You can find me at Lombardi Leap, and then you can find Mercy FB, and then also Packers BTF on X. That's all, folks. Until next time.
To Packers fans coast to coast, thanks for going beyond the frozen tundra. We appreciate you tuning in. And as always, go Pack Go!